West Bromwich Albion kicking off at the Hawthorns. They're at home to Queen's Park Rangers, and who doesn't remember that shattering defeat of 2 seasons ago when 3rd Division Qpr beat Albion in the League Cup final. This was the warm-up for Albion's revenge. But 1st Division Queen's Park have never quite lived up to their promise. Vic Leach, number 8, clears it, only to see Albion hammering back. And a lead up by Astle gives young Richard Hartford an opening for Albion's first. Rangers taking it in a safer direction. Osborne collects. Since securing their place in the 1st Division after finishing 2nd Division runners-up, Rangers are still looking for their first win. And after this Albion match, it looks no nearer. Foul against Rangers. Tony Brown takes it. And Kelly's quick to snap it up. But the second is soon on its way from Ron Rees. And here's the third, a cross from 17-year-old Hartford, and Jeff Astle heads it through. "3-0 at half-time. Rangers' pessimism seems well-founded. Graham Williams meeting up with Clark. And it's Clark who's going to write the only optimistic chapter in this pretty sorrowful Rangers story. After a momentary confusion among Albion's defence, he scores Rangers' only goal. In the final of the Master of Champions tournament at Sydney, renowned draw shot exponent Rowley Stevens recovers his remarkable touch after a lapse which costs him the lead at the halfway mark. He's one of the finest exponents of one of the oldest sports in the world. It can be traced back 7,000 years, far beyond Sir Francis Drake. Judging the pace of the green perfectly, Stevens' deliveries consistently give him the shot bowl. Stevens' opponent is 1965 winner Peter Rubin. He endeavours to counter with a series of draw shots, but his control is astray and the match slips out of his grasp. Holding a commanding advantage, Stevens falters momentarily as he makes one of his few errors of judgment over the concluding stages. The end is near for Rubin. He rides the shot desperately, but to no avail. Stevens wins and is congratulated by Australian champion Tom Eastall. "17 of the greatest names of the turf in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, the richest race in Europe. They include our 2,000 guineas and Derby winner Sir Ivor, and many winners of other classic events. But none of them can touch the British-bred Vaguely Noble." Bill Williamson and Vaguely Noble leading Lester Piggott on Sir Ivor, heading for a fantastic win and earning his American owners £80,000. Since he was bought 10 months ago for a record 136,000 guineas, he's chalked up almost 100,000 in winnings. His value today is probably approaching £1 million. But just as important for us, he's given a tremendous boost to British bloodstock. But for one of the greatest names of our time, the racecourse is a thing of the past. His owner, Anne, Duchess of Westminster, has decided that Arkle will be retired to County Kildare. It's nearly 2 years since his bone injury. 3 times winner of the Cheltenham Gold Cup, Arkle will be remembered as one of the greatest steeplechasers of the last decade. Swing into 69. Forget the winter that's still to come and take a preview of Berkatec's suggestions for springtime. Cotton and man-made fibres mixed or on their own. If you wear one of these, don't forget the brasso. A trouser suit, one of the space-age outfits, all set for blast-off. silver braid and clear plastics for that date with an astronaut. Prices range from £5 to £17. After your shampoo, all set for a new hat. Simone Merman has been making hats in London for nearly 30 years. She's won a reputation for superlative flair and finish. Every shape moulded with art and artifice. Fashion all started when Eve got a thing about apples. But nowadays, girls must hunt with more sophisticated weapons. Perhaps she hunts a man with a tomahawk. A pixie cap encrusted with jewels. One of Merman's latest flights of fancy, aviator helmets. Or one of those popular feminine frou-frous, as light as a meringue. A large floppy number, thick as a piled carpet. Finally, something to attract the him in the Himalayas. And she'll get him yeti.